When's the last time you saw Trundle in one of your games? Last season, Trundle had his time in the spotlight as an absolute jungle beast, trolling and full clearing his way to solo queue notoriety. But after several nerfs and jungle changes, Trundle's popularity has once again plummeted, being seen in just over 2% of games. And while his average win rate is still above 50%, many people have moved away from him. But one of the top support players in EUNE has once again seen value in the troll, and we're going to analyze him today to see if Trundle can really be taken seriously as a support pick. Our summoner today is known as Shetanin, and while he's not a Trundle one-trick pony, he is in the top 120 solo queue players on EUNE, and has found pretty impressive success on Trundle Support, being known as the number 4 Trundle player in the entire world. Shetanin has been playing League of Legends ranked since Season 3, where he started his career like most League of Legends players do. Confused. He played various different roles but found himself most comfortable in jungle, focusing on both Lee Sin and Nidalee as his mains, and impressively, making his way all the way into gold in his first season. For Seasons 4 and 5, he continued to main jungle, but also started to dabble in other roles like support and mid lane, finding a clear love for Thresh, but overall still trying out many different champions. He played over 110 different champions in Season 5, and even with all of that diversity, he was still able to just barely make his way into Platinum. In Seasons 6 and 7, he continued to play jungle and support, still favoring Lee Sin, Nidalee, and Thresh, but still keeping his champion pool very wide, playing over 120 different champions in both of these seasons, and having enough skill to push himself into Diamond. In Season 8, he remained Diamond, but made the true switch into being a support main, again spending most of his time on Thresh, and by Season 9, he finally broke into Master and even surpassed that to go up to Grandmaster. But where the heck is Trundle in all of this, you may be asking? With Shetanin's wide champion pool, he was always playing a bit of Trundle, but even so, mostly in the jungle role, and really not enough for me to even mention stats for. Trundle has only really started to become part of his game recently, and now that this season he's made it to Challenger 698 LP, he has just discovered Trundle Support and has started spamming games as him. His true love is still Thresh, and can you blame him? Thresh is an amazing support, but something has clicked with Trundle. Over the past few weeks, Shetanin has played over 40 games with Trundle, netting himself a 72% win rate in High Challenger, where he continues to climb higher and higher with him to this day. If you think of Trundle Support, he has some glaring weaknesses. First, in a movement-dominated game, Trundle is pretty immobile, only gaining movement speed from his W and having no easy way of getting in. He lacks hard lockdown, and so once again, against a slippery AD carry or support, it can be a long walk before you can really do anything to them. Like we've discussed in other support videos, he's going to be lacking funds as opposed to if you were playing Trundle in the jungle, and therefore, you'll be a lot less tanky and underleveled in comparison. And finally, and most importantly, he's a troll, without any anime characteristics or washboard abs, meaning Riot has likely forgotten all about him. But even with all of these potential problems, Shetanin has found a way to make it work. At level 1, Shetanin will level up his E or Pillar of Ice ability. Level 1 can be a bit more passive for Trundle Support, and while Shetanin does use it on occasion to push the enemy support or AD carry into a bad trading position, he'll normally save it until he's about to hit level 2 to ensure a really good trade. I really think people underestimate Pillar as an engage ability. He normally aims to knock enemies towards him to force them to walk all the way around the slow to get out of danger. Level 2, he'll level up his Q or Chomp ability. This ability has some surprising synergy with Trundle Support. While it increases his attack damage by 20, it also reduces the enemy's attack damage by 10. So if Shetanin is able to land it on the enemy AD carry, he's effectively reducing their attack damage by a longsword. 350 gold worth of stats. This also makes it so the enemy's Doran's blade they bought is nearly meaningless. Just these two abilities means that Shetanin can go all in, and sometimes the slow from Pillar and Chomp means that the enemy has to blow a summoner spell, or at the very least, take an unfavorable trade. At level 3, he levels up his W, or Frozen Domain. W has a slew of uses, but the main ones would be using the attack speed boost to win all-ins harder, helping Shetanin quickly get into position for an unsuspected pillar, or quickly taking down turret plates if the enemy laners foolishly exit the lane for too long. Note that Trundle's turret killing abilities are pretty up there when it comes to supports, and when he's pushing turrets, he's chomping on nearby minions or the turret itself, which is possible, to increase his attack damage and push faster. Shetanin then proceeds to max his E or pillar in lane. As Trundle Support, this is your most important ability and offers you the most utility. Leveling it reduces the cooldown to allow you more opportunities to use it, and also heavily increases how much it slows, from 32% at level 1 to almost doubling and giving 60% slow at level 5. Shetanin is never engaging in lane without this ability or his Guardian Keystone up, to ensure he always wins trades. He keeps this cycle up until he hits level 6 when he levels his ultimate or Subjugate. Trundle's ultimate steals health and resistances from his chosen enemy. So if Trundle already had crazy all-in ability without this, just imagine how hard it is to win an all-in against him once it's available. He'll typically use this ability on the enemy with the highest chance of dying in lane. Reducing their armor and magic resist just means an even easier time for his AD carry or jungler to burst them down. If he gets a solid pillar off on someone and is aware that their movement or summoner spells are down, it's basically a guaranteed kill every time. And since Trundle's ultimate is front-loaded and steals half of the health and resistances immediately, he can sometimes use this to bait an enemy when they think he might die. In our other videos of junglers that turn support, we've talked about their effectiveness at roaming, and Trundle is no different. Mid-game, or even early game under the right circumstances, as Trundle Support, Shetanin will look for roams on unsuspecting laners. His pillar once again plays a huge role in the effectiveness of these ganks, so just like in lane, Shetanin aims to knock the opponent into his ally and force them to walk around the pillar slow, hopefully netting his team a kill or at least a summoner spell in their favor. Throughout the mid-game, Shetanin likes to stick with his AD carry or other carry on his team and focus on objectives like pushing turrets or getting dragon. As Trundle Support, you don't have much kill pressure by yourself, but your pillar and ultimate give you a lot of potential with a teammate. He'll focus on grabbing objectives, roaming, and looking for helpless, out-of-position enemies to pick them off if they get too close. When teamfighting as Trundle, the fights revolve heavily around your two most important abilities again, pillar and ultimate. Pillar can be used to section off enemies from the battle or force enemies into an unfavorable position with the terrain. This heavily reduces their kiting potential, making them an easy target for the rest of the team to jump on. The pillar can also be used to help peel enemies off his team as well, slowing them down and creating distance long enough for his team to pump out the necessary damage to finish them. Your ultimate in teamfights can be used one of two ways. Just like in lane, if you're healthy, you can use it on an enemy who is most likely to die, reducing their resistances and doing more damage to them quickly to turn the teamfight into your favor. If the teamfight starts unfavorably or there's a lot of people around him, Shetanin may ultimate a bruiser or tank on the enemy team to allow him to survive longer and have more impact in the fight. In every situation, he is tanky AF and can take a lot of punishment with his ultimate on. He's not afraid to hop into many enemies because if his team starts netting kills, his passive will start healing him up, allowing him to fight longer. Some quick Trundle tips and tricks I picked up while watching Shetanin play Trundle Support. The small side of the turret is the death zone for the enemies if you have a teammate with you. If you land a pillar behind someone here, they either have to walk forward into you and your team, or use a summoner spell or movement ability to get away. Look for these opportunities. Note that your chomp is an auto attack reset, meaning that auto Q auto is your fastest source of damage when going all in. Chomp can also be used on wards, so similar to Leona, you can again use auto Q auto to almost instantly kill a ward when it's placed or when just clearing them normally. Your pillar can stop dashes, but honestly it's pretty difficult unless the dash is like super telegraphed, like think about Zac E. A more consistent and easy way of using it to stop a dash would be rejecting an enemy from using a blast plan. Plus if you do this, your team will think you're a god. And finally, don't underestimate your passive as Trundle. Trundle passive in lane means some solid sustain if you just chill out next to minions that are dying. And also, you can heal huge amounts off jungle creeps like Dragon, Baron, or even blue buff. Late game, Baron heals you an insane amount also. For his build, he starts every game with steel shoulder guards. From there, he'll rush his boots, typically building Boots of Lucidity for lower cooldowns, and on rarer occasions, building Merc Treads against CC heavy teams, or Plated Steel Caps against auto attack heavy teams. He then works towards his mythic, a Locket of Iron Solari, to become tankier. For his 4th and 5th items, he looks to the enemy team. If they are healing heavy, he may build a Bramble Vest that will eventually turn into a Thorn Mail. AD heavy, he prefers a Zeke's Convergence for its gold efficiency, or magic heavy, he'll build an Abyssal Mask. He typically sticks to these 3 items for these 4th and 5th slots. If the game goes long or he needs some more oomph in his build, he'll build an Elixir of Iron. And for his 6th item, and throughout the whole game, as a good support does, he's buying Control Wards to win the Vision game. For his runes, he takes Guardian for better survivability, Font of Life for better trades, Bone Plating because it's just the best rune, and Revitalize for synergy with his passive. He also takes Biscuit Delivery for better sustain in lane, and Approach Velocity for more movement speed when he uses Pillar. For his flex runes, he prefers to take Ability Haste and Double Magic Resist, Double Armor, or one of each depending on his opponents. Sometimes he'll bring attack speed instead of ability haste and 1 adaptive force against lanes that are less slippery, but he's typically running with the ones on the screen. Trundle Support, I love it. We just did LeBlanc Support, so this is the complete polar opposite of that champion, and I hope you guys found this enlightening and honestly a lot of fun, because I do think we will start seeing more Trundle Support as the season goes on. Potentially he'll make his way back in the jungle eventually, because considering he's gotten some pretty recent buffs about a patch or 2 ago, but I like to think this is a little more fun, so give this a shot in your games. If you guys want to see me try this live, I stream every Tuesday and Thursday on twitch.tv/BCawk. You can catch me at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, or of course, if you could, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me get my videos in front of you in the future, and I would really love you guys to be in the comments more often. Thanks you all for tuning in to this video. I hope I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a great day or night, whatever it is for y'all. Peace.